Alright, so this past weekend was a fly-in in Alamogordo, New Mexico. This is the paraglider launch site that you're seeing here in this footage. And we drove up at about 9 o'clock in the morning and sat there for a while because conditions were not good yet. The wind was blowing over the backside of the launch, and the only upslope flow we were getting to launch in was thermal cycles. In a little bit, we hiked back up to the hang glider launch, and we ended up launching off the hang glider launch. It's on top of that cliff there. Here's some clips of a guy trying to launch from the PG launch site, but it didn't work out. And this is the hang glider launch site that you're seeing now. It was still too light, and that's a very lightweight wing, and still wasn't enough wind to kite in there. Here's a good launch.
Had a break. That's all there is.
Off in the distance there, you see the white area far off in the background near that mountain range. That's White Sands, New Mexico. This launch site is called Dry Canyon. It's in Alamogordo. And this launch site sits right at about 7,000 feet MSL.
Yeah, right there, maybe a little farther.
Not much lift.
That's insane. 12:30, 1 o'clock, it's freaking out on dry.
Very small amounts of ridge lift. Not enough to really stay up with. Here's some shots of guys coming into land.
That guy from Alaska? I think so. There you go. Way to go, dude. Yeah. How'd you like it?
Doing great. That's choppy as well.
How'd you drive down? Okay. I gotta go get something to eat, though. Yeah? Serious sugar low. Oh.
This guy was visiting from Alaska. He flew down here for the fly-in to New Mexico from Alaska. He was flying, I think, a Swift 5. Later on, you'll see footage of him and I thermaling together. Lots of fun. I believe this was the only hang glider launch for the whole day. It was just too light for hang gliders. And he just had a sled ride. He only stayed up for a little bit. Still a good flight, though.
There's Max.
Last to land.
Here comes Lee on my 25-meter dudek universal. I'll let him test it out. Lee's hooked. He wants one. Alright, here goes my, this was technically my second flight.
Fix that wingtip, please.
I flew the evening before, but I put that footage at the end of this video.
Coming up.
Waiting for a good thermal cycle to blow through, and off we go. near launch, and then I hook one about halfway down towards the LZ, and then right at the end of this little mountain range here, we caught a big thermal. Another guy and I rode it all the way up to the top of lift for that day. There was higher winds at higher altitude, and it kind of sheared the tops of the thermals off, so couldn't get crazy high. We could only get up to about 9,000 ISO. FYI, this is also the same place that I crashed my hang glider almost exactly a year ago. Collapse of the day. The small popped out instantly. The thermals here are just punchy and very narrow. You'll see me turning really tight cores in these thermals. It was also a high pressure day. This is the start of the thermal that took myself and two other guys pretty much all the way up to the top of lift for the day. We hooked it pretty low, maybe 200 feet AGL, and climbed all the way up in it. The other guy that was flying the Ozone Swift 5, he caught up to me pretty quickly in the thermal. Could just be difference in pilot skill, could be the wings, not sure, could just be positioning in the thermal. But you'll see he catches me pretty quick as I fast forward through this section. And then we enjoyed flying at the same altitude, almost wingtip to wingtip, looking at each other and yelling back and forth. Tons of fun. day. I'm tired. I've been on top of the mountain since 9 o'clock in the morning, so we head down towards the LZ and get ready for a landing so we can go grab some lunch.
Thank you. How'd you feel about that?
Yeah, it was nice. You know, I get spooked, you know, knowing about the weather and then seeing the lenses, wave clouds over there. And so I don't know. It was nice. So I just came out and landed.
Same. I was like, I got enough. Did some thermal in. Let's go land and get lunch.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw. Were you one of the first guys over here to get this thermal? Somebody, I saw like three wings over here. I was like,
yeah, three. I came over here. I caught one out front of launch, and then I came over here and caught that one and rode it all the way up.
Yeah, I saw these guys getting up. I was like, go.
Mitch down safe in the LZ.
This footage here is on a paramotor. I took off with the motor after we got some lunch on the Dudek Universal to go see if I could catch some evening thermals. They kind of died off by this time. Nothing you could really climb in. You could just kind of maintain your altitude. But it was cool to compare, flying the base earlier in the day to flying the Universal. The Universal felt more solid in the air than the base did, probably due to the reflex profile, and the brake pressure was a lot higher. Both of them felt perfectly safe and fun to fly, and I think the Universal had a slightly faster trim speed than the base, but still a lot of fun. It was also really neat to share thermals with free fly pilots while I was on my motor. Here I am gliding next to a Swing Nios RS with RAST. It's I believe it's considered a high B wing, and the Universal would be low B. It was cool to compare the glide ratio and the sink rate. My sink rate was obviously a little bit higher, most likely due to the motor, the extra drag and weight from the motor. But not too bad for a Dudek Universal versus a modern free fly wing.
Let's trade wings.
Okay.
The trims are pretty good where they're at for takeoff and landing, right on 3.
Okay. I do need to jump on the car.
Man, there was a lot of lift.
Yeah, there was, surprisingly. Those dudes were thermaling still. They're pretty dang good.
Here, Lee and I are going to trade wings. He was flying a 22-meter GTX Paramania wing. First time I've ever flown it. That wing is super solid feeling, and you can see how much it has in the air. If you fly next to it, it just has crazy amounts of reflex, and you can really feel it in the air. The brake pressure is high, but that wing is just like rock solid when you fly it. It's pretty cool. Pretty fast for a 22 meter as well.
Go, go, go!
Lee took off with my wing and flew around, I think, for about 30 minutes. I landed shortly after, buzzing around a few times in his wing. Just tired and worn out from the day, but he went out and enjoyed my universal. And here's a clip of him landing again. Lee's hooked. He wants one.
All right, Lee, I'm gonna inflate.
Alright, this footage was actually
waiting
from the
right now.
day prior.
It was kind of low for a
I just
second.
threw it in at the end
I
because
just
it's
need
kind
to
of
bring
boring.
it up during a low
Winds
phase.
were stronger. I think they were blowing around 15 miles an hour. And we launched, soared for a little bit. We didn't have much daylight left because we sat and waited so long for the wind to die down.
Coming up.
But we soared for a few minutes and then headed down to the LZ and camped out for the night. You'll see Lee launch after me in his 22-meter Paramania GTX. He flies much faster and sinks out a lot quicker. He wasn't able to stay up and soar, and just barely made it back to the LZ. That's it pretty much for my footage that I got from the fly-in this weekend. We do this fly-in every year in Alamogordo, New Mexico, and we had a great time. I don't think anyone blew any launches this time, and everyone just had a great time flying, and the weather was great for flying pretty much all weekend. Thanks for watching. Get out there and fly.